Hello and welcome to this demonstration video for WordWall 2.2. WordWall is an activity maker for interactive whiteboards and data projectors and provides a really easy way to create activities rather than static slides for those devices. It can also be used with the WordPad handsets, but in this demonstration we'll be focusing purely on the software capabilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by showing you some of the different types of activities that you can make in WordWall, and these can be seen in the WordWall wizards. So I'm going to start here with the sentence maker, and the way this works is you type in your sentence. I'm going to type in a bit of Shakespeare here, and what it does is it renders that sentence as a series of tiles on the screen, and these tiles provide interactive objects that can be manipulated through the whiteboard. So there we can see our sentence. We can do various things with this. We could say take those tiles and we could flip them all over. I could go through here, I could reveal some of the tiles. I could ask a student to come up to the interactive whiteboard with a pen and write on there what they think the missing words are. Okay, and then I could flip it over and we could see if they were right. Okay, so that's one way we could use it. Another thing we could do is we could select all of those tiles and we could turn them into anagrams like so, and then we'd go through and reveal some of the words. A third thing we could do is we could mark out, say, a particular part of speech in a particular colour or particular keywords like so, or we could take this sentence and we could jumble it about and we could ask a student to come up to the board and put it back together. But the idea is, 3 or 4 different ways of using this activity, but really quick to make, and this is kind of something in common with a lot of the other wizards as well. Let me show you another activity. This time I'm going to show you the seating plan. So with this, what you do is you draw a little map of your classroom like so. So I'm going to use these coloured blobs up here to draw my map out. So there's some student tables and maybe another one as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a teacher's desk at the front and maybe, say, a window over here for the students all to gaze out of. And then I'm going to type in some names. You can paste these in as well if you like. So there's my list. Okay, so there's my class, 7J. I can then pick them up. I can put them into their various seats, like so. Okay, and decide where they're all going. Now, let's say I wanted to pick someone out to answer a question or perform a particular task. You've got this thing here called a spinner, and it's a bit like a fickle finger of fate, so it picks someone at random to answer the question. A bit like the lollipop sticks that you use in, kind of AFL. So see who's going to land on Jaspreet. Okay, so let's say Jaspreet's answered that question. Maybe Josh has as well. We could then run the spinner again, and it would select from the remaining students. Okay. Great. Oh, I put in 2 of those. Fantastic. Okay, what else could we do? We could take these students and I could say, right, I'm going to lock Jack in position at the front because I don't want him moving anywhere, but then I'm going to use the swapper to put people into different groups. So it's quite a useful classroom management tool. Okay, let's have a go with another one of these wizards. And this time I'm going to use simple text, as the name suggests. It's very simple. I'm going to type in the names of some animals. Feel free to shout some out if you like. Okay, porcupine and aardvark and liger, whale, monkey. Okay. Okay, so how many have we got there? Maybe one more. Zebra. Okay, so I've typed in my list of names, and then I'm going to create the grid of tiles up there on the wall, like so. Now, let's say I wanted to get some other resources into my wall. What you can see down the right hand side of these banks here that make it really easy for you to bring images or bits of text or activities into the wall. So I could click, say, on a liger, like so, go to the image bank, search online for a picture of a liger, and I could then pick that up and I could drag that into my wall, like so. So it provides a really easy way to get those images in. If I wanted a picture of a whale, similarly, go to the image bank, click on the magnifying glass, and then drag it into the wall. So that's one way we could use it. Another thing we could do is we could drag that image onto the back of the wall and then resize it into position. like so. And then it's a bit like kind of catchphrase, say what you see. So you can go through there and we could say, these are the answers to questions, what was the question? So which ones of these would belong to the cat family? We could say which one of these is a mammal that lives in the sea, which one cannot be seen with the naked eye. And as we kind of go through there, we can kind of also use the peek tool if we want to kind of peek behind as well. Okay, so that's one type of activity we could do. Another thing we could do is we could use the text bank here. And the way the text bank works, if I click on something like kangaroo with the select key and then go to text bank, I can find information about a kangaroo. So I could look in the dictionary, which produces a kind of fairly straightforward sort of, level 4 definition of a kangaroo. I could bring that into my wall. If I wanted to, I could go into encyclopedia and I could get something a bit more detailed. And there's about 3.5 million articles in the encyclopedia, so it's pretty kind of comprehensive. So I could go through here and I could be interested to see that wild kangaroos are shot for meat. I could pick that up and drag that into my wall. If I had somebody in my class who's Chinese who didn't know what a kangaroo is, I could bring in the Chinese for kangaroo or the French for kangaroo, like so. So that's one thing I could do. What else have we got here? The third of these banks is the activity bank. And this is really the most important of all of them, because when you go and save a file to your computer or the school network like so, it saves it there, but then it also asks you if you want to share it with other teachers. Now if I click on allow sharing, what happens is this file here is taken and it's uploaded to the activity bank where any other teacher can access it. So it's really, really easy to submit stuff, and there's about 12,000 kind of files on here at the minute. Here are some of the ones that we can see have been recently submitted. But I can also filter by typing in keywords. So say, for example, I was interested in resources to do with metals. I could go down there, search for metals. What it does is it goes online and it finds me various resources to do with metals. So we can see one resource here. And you can see there's 12 pictures of metals, and on the other side of the tile we've got their chemical symbols. But if you look and notice the kind of iron cannon and the gold nugget, you can also look and you can see another resource which was created by another teacher at a different school, and they've taken that original file and they've added in another 13 images and names. Okay, so you can see you've got your kind of iron cannon there and your gold nugget, but they've added in a load new resources. Okay, so the idea is the resources, they don't just kind of increase in quantity over time, they also improve in quality through this process of peer review. Now, let's say we were to take this file here, and maybe we'd used it with a class, we might have put them in order of reactivity, or we might have, say, I don't know, put them into 4 groups. I then want to take this resource and I want to reuse it in a different way. Okay, so what I do now is I take this information and I could use this thing called convert. And what convert does is it makes information within an activity portable, so it can be used in something else. So I could go to convert and I could turn that into a crossword like so. So we've got the same information there but in another format. So we could then go through, we could print this out as a worksheet, and then we could reveal the answers by flipping over the tiles. Okay, what about if we were to take this again and I was going to convert it into another activity? So I could take it and I could turn it into, say, a definition matchup. So we've got the same information once again, but in another format. Okay, so we can go through here and we can pick up our tiles and we can put them into order, like so. And what you can see when you click on them is the ones that are correctly matched, kind of the colour matches up there. So where's my one? Sodium. But you can see the ones which aren't properly matched don't. So it's really, really easy to create these kind of series of activities on the fly, responding to whether the class has understood or not, perhaps the content you're teaching, whether to move on to something else or repeat the same information. There are loads and loads of other wizards that I could show you, but we also have these web wizards, which are kind of online, topical, dynamic wizards. Now you have things like geography wizards in there, like, say, CI World Factbook and Panorama. You've got science ones as well, ones with English definitions. But I'm going to show you, I think, what's the most interesting of these, which are these news web wizards. And what these do is these take information off of news sites and present them in a kind of WordWall format. So we could look at, say, the day's news. So this is today's news according to Yahoo, and what you've got here are lots of different news stories from today, and we can click on them to find out a bit more about them. We can flip them over and we can see what else, a little bit more information on the story. If we click on the globe here, it takes us back to the news sites. And you've got various different types of news wizards here. You've got things as well, like we could look at, say, The Guardian, so we can compare the news stories in a broadsheet like The Guardian, or a tabloid like The Scotsman. Equally, if we were kind of looking at, say, I don't know, we were doing French, we could look at French news in Canada today, so some French news stories. So there's lots and lots of online resources that you can bring in and use on your interactive whiteboard or data projector. So those are some of the features of the software. In the next video, I'm going to move on and look at how you can use the WordPad 2 handset in combination with WordWall. Thanks ever so much.